Dire Wave.
3.
Our anthropology is not derived by human psychology or, empirical data from MIT or something like this. It's derived from the revealed aspect of what we see in Christology. And so there's no real way to diagnose man's problem and to understand man and man's anthropology, as I said, without the right theology. Logos is the icon of the Father, and man is the icon of God. We are the image of God.
Dire Wave.
Hey, Daddy-O, how you doing, baby?
How you doing? What are you?
I'm a Stephen King greaser man.
Greaser? I am... Guess who I am?
The Shining Girl.
Yes. I'm
You're Shelbert Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. I got
Yes,
my
that
best Stephen King flannel plus turtleneck combo with 90s mom hair.
Stefan Molly King. Yes.
According to Stephen King, greaser bullies are the scariest thing in the universe.
Greaser bullies are the number 2 cause of death in the Stephen King universe
Yeah.
after the creatures, entities, demons, ghouls, ghosties, and goblins.
Yes.
So, we're going to get into the psyche of Stephen King tonight. And I think we're going to learn some things about the boomer mindset when it comes to horror. There's a lot to, well, Stephen King's mindset, I guess we should say.
He likes to reuse a lot of things, doesn't he?
Yes. Clowns, greasers. I mean, what in the hell were all the greasers up to?
Yeah.
And I mean,
So many evil greasers.
literally, half the Stephen King stories
I'm sure.
are some angry, mean. And the greaser's like, he's got a comb that he whips out, and it's a knife and also a comb.
Yes.
And you, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's going to flip it out, cut you up with that.
100% Stephen King was bullied as a child.
Yes, that's what we've determined is that Stephen King was greaser bullied. And he was greased into a corner.
They didn't bully him enough because he still turned into a weirdo. Like, why didn't they? Bullies, you had one job.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Spooktober. We don't celebrate Halloween. We have invented our own holiday, a.k.a. known as Spooktober. And tonight, culminating in the Spooktober, is Stephen King, bad and good. And we've got a wide selection here. You have to put The Shining on it, which I know we've done The Shining many times. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on The Shining because I have done one TV show episode on it. I've done a documentary I made on it. I mean, I've exhausted The Shining, but we are going to mention it because it's a prelude to Dr. Sleep. And I did a long analysis of Dr. Sleep, but did you do a Dr. Sleep with me? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay. But we're going to be doing Dr. Sleep and The Shining together in the attitude of Stephen King, what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And then Jamie is dressed as Shelley Duvall, as we said, from The Shining. And
Wendy? That was her name.
Wendy, you're very... Well, my wife Wendy's a confirmed horror film fanatic. So
That's good.
there's my...
She didn't have... Her lines are mostly like...
Exactly. Get that thing away. You're going to put me. Put that down.
I won't hurt you.
You're not old enough for that yet.
She can't stab him in the movie either.
You're not old enough for that. Dark Tower was such a failure that we didn't include that. It could be included in the bad list, but the bads have some really fun bad. And so Tommy Knockers, what do we get?
Stephen King is such a spectrum, and that's what makes me think he probably has a team of ghostwriters that...
Get it? Ghostwriter?
That write a lot of different, because some is just so bad and some is so good. So we're going to get into it. Today's going to be fun. It's a Bones Day. If you know, you know.
So
we got what?
By the way, our good choices are Shining, Dr. Sleep, It.
Okay, here's the good list. Shining, Dr. Sleep, Misery, Gerald's Game.
No, that
What?
we're doing that. We're not doing all those.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
all
of his
List
good ones and
decent
all of
ones.
his bad. Okay.
List the decent ones.
Gerald's Game, At Pupil, Cell, Shawshank Redemption, Carrie, It, Stand By Me, 1408, Dead Zone. What's that one?
Secret Window.
Secret Window. So that's the good, on the good side. And then,
There is a spectrum.
yes, on the bad side, you have The Langoliers, which was terrible, which is about a crunchy noise.
The crunchy nothing that is nothing but it crunches.
Well, this kind of connects to It, maybe, because we're going to talk about Stephen King universe in a second. Okay, but Maximum Overdrive, that's a B movie for sure, right? Sleepwalkers, terrible. Needful Things, that was kind of weird. Thinner, that was goofy. Silver Bullet, Tommy
Christine's
Knockers.
a good one.
We have the middle. The middle is Pet Cemetery, Cujo, Christine, The Stand, Sometimes They Come Back, Secret Window, and Firestarter.
I'm going to have to put Sometimes They Come Back more on the bad side.
On the back, okay. So they get a.
And Sometimes They Come Back Again, which is really bad, but not exactly Stephen King, but based on Stephen King.
Oh, man.
So it still counts.
This was a doozy of a movie. Sometimes They Come Back Again. Not Sometimes They Come Back, which was...
Would you rather be in Misery Bates's room or Gil Bates's room?
Kathy. What's her name?
Misery Bates.
I know.
I don't know her name.
Yeah, you do. She's like
From the
super
movie?
famous. Yeah.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant the character's name. I don't know that character's name.
Yeah, I'd rather face Kathy Bates and Bill Gates.
I mean, literally an hour ago, I was in here. 2 hours ago, I was in here arguing with people about Thomism, and now I'm a greaser. I hope you guys appreciate this. And I even greased it up, like the really bad where they comb it up, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of does like a little
the
ice cream
ducktail?
twirl up at the top. Yeah.
Dude, I pulled out my mom claw clip from the 90s. Remember those things? You just
Well, did they have those in the 70s too?
No,
Are you sure?
not really. So you want?
But we will talk about The Shining, yeah.
Let's start with It though, because I listened to some things about It today, and I would say that was in the good column of scary. What do you think?
Yeah, the new It was. Are we doing the new It or the old It? Old It.
Just the It universe.
Okay. Mostly it was okay, except for the end where we just insult him, we berate and bully him.
Okay.
So I think Stephen King has this thing about bullying, and then he thought that he would get back at the universe by bullying it.
Well, this is so weird because Illuminati Watcher did a good podcast a couple years ago about It when the new movie came out.
Okay.
And so I listened to that
Okay.
today, and there's a lot going on here because it is actually the Luciferian forces coming to Earth.
Yeah, that was my
And
analysis.
yeah, it's...
I like how Jamie doesn't listen to my analysis.
I do.
She went and listened to Isaac, which is okay, but that's
course
funny.
I have all of your notes.
No, actually,
and
that's
all
good.
my notes and all
That's
Isaac's
good.
notes, so I have the power of all three of them.
That's good because now there's different angles.
Yes. So, and he actually read the book, so I wouldn't take time to read that giant book. But anyways, it comes every 27 years, which was weird. And
Why is that weird?
because of like the 27 Club, and
I don't think that relates to the 27 Club.
Stephen King has his own cosmology, so it is happening in the Stephen King universe.
Right. That I do know about because I have read Dark Tower stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
The Stand.
there's a turtle that appears several times in the movies called Maturin, and the turtle exists in the Macroverse, and the turtle created the entire universe by vomiting it out. So it's got some like demiurge
Oh.
stuff in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you have a god character, which they call the Final Other, created Maturin, and Maturin lives in the Macroverse, and
Does
Maturin...
that relate to matter, like being created matter?
Yeah.
From the materia? Okay.
So Maturin is the brother of It.
This is a Gnostic cosmology.
Yes.
Yeah.
And It is the adversary, and then Maturin created our universe. So you've got God, Maturin, ours.
Yes, exactly. Gnostic to the core, dude.
Yeah. And it's called the Macroverse. And so it is eternal energy manifested from Maturin,
Okay.
unshaped, destroying light.
What?
He's also called unshaped, destroying light, like Lucifer.
And this is Maturin.
Yeah. No, It.
Yeah.
It is the brother of Maturin.
Brother or
Pennywise.
consort?
Just It, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this universe has a brother that's the demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then does anybody in this Stephen King universe ever interact with Maturin?
This is what they're seeing when they take their Chud ritual. Remember, they take the peyote or whatever, and they do the ritual, and they see the creation of the universe. This is everything they're seeing in that.
I mean, in the other stories, like there's a sequence.
Oh yeah,
There's
I
a
don't know.
sequence in the Dark Tower where I think it's the gunslinger guy. He trips and he has this really intense acid trip, and he sees, kind of into the mysteries of the universe. So I'm just trying to remember if that's the same thing.
So when they're doing this ceremony, what they see is the creation of, or the fall of It to the earth, like lightning.
Right, I remember that.
And
That's in my video, yeah.
God and Maturin stand by and watch it devour all the things. So they are afar
Is this the
off.
evil trinity, the three lights? God, Maturin, and It? in it, it's three lights
Right.
that like come down and they get into the little Indian pod thing.
Maybe.
The little Indian vase.
Yeah, I don't know. So the humans are just caught in this hell world where
Somebody said the turtle's in Dark Tower, by the way. Go ahead.
where it is just devouring all the things, and God and matter and stand by and watch because they're a part of. They're
all
not
brothers.
a part of the universe. The Gnostic.
Is it an evil trinity? Is what I'm trying to ask.
It's a Gnostic trinity. Well, I guess
Maybe.
they don't say matter is evil. They just say he created our universe.
Well, but isn't it implied if the universe
If he was the demiurge,
if
then
he
yeah.
vomited it forth,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing, right?
Right. So,
It's a good vomit. And he vomited and proclaimed it was good.
he comes to Earth like lightning. They talk about a flaming match head, which is called a Lucifer, and Ark of the Covenant. He makes satanic promises to them, like longevity, and he says, you can be the king of the world if you don't kill me.
Titanic, dude. Leo.
What?
I'm the king of the world.
Yep. You can be Leo on the...
Maybe Leo actually is the king of the world.
But then the last part about it that wasn't in either of the movies was that it also refers to sex.
Oh, doing it.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
And part of their childhood pact sealing them together
was that? Yes.
a
I remember this.
group SEXs.
Well, a couple of years ago, everybody was tweeting at Stephen King. It caused a big stir because he was trying to be all moral on Twitter, and people were tweeting at him quotes from his book about how gross it was.
Oh, yeah.
And about how this is about underage people doing it. Mm-hmm. And it just made him look like an idiot for trying to be all moral about, virtue signaling about, like, Trump saying grab him in the vagina or something like that. Mm-hmm. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, dude, you got, like, things 50 times worse in your book. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
So it has something to do with the power of will and sex. And also he's a clown, so he's like an evil, insane character, which lines up kind of.
Does he have a posse? Because he would be the insane clown posse. Well, Stephen King's just a juggalo the whole time. Like, that was the real secret, is he's a juggalo.
Only greasers have posses. And they all live and die together.
Greasers are like poor wasp gangs. So if you're a wasp and you're not going to the country club and you form your own gang, you're going to be like the poor waspy greaser gang.
I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen King wrote the more disturbing stuff, and like maybe his wife writes like Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile and those kind of.
No, of course The Shining is not part of the bad. We're doing worst and good. The worst is Tommy Knockers. What else?
Hold up.
And sometimes they come back again,
Take some
which
notes.
is terrible.
Where are they? Oh yeah, Sleepwalkers, about the cats.
No, babe. The ones we're doing tonight.
Oh, okay. Tonight.
The ones we're doing tonight. I'm starting already to talk like Polly Walnuts because I got this crazy here.
Yep.
On my life, T.
So that was the new stuff about it. If you want to look at the old stuff.
That's really good points on it, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Stephen King had this actual. Now I do know that in Dark Tower the universe is conceived of in this really esoteric Kabbalistic way. So there's like the tower is itself this doorway to go into the different worlds of people's psyches. Mm-hmm. So at one point, people start stepping into through the tower. They start stepping into other people's minds, and that's what alternate personalities are. Because in Dark Tower 2, it's a drug addict who has MPD-DID, and it's people coming through the Dark Tower portal into his mind.
Interesting. Okay. And
Oh, by the way,
what?
in the Dark Tower series, and the Dark Tower is the doorway, if I remember. So if you are in Gunslinger's world and you wanted to come to our world, you go to the tower to step through. Mm-hmm. So it's like a portal to different universes.
Well, in it, all of the kids have a trauma that connects them to each other and to Pennywise.
Right.
And the girl's trauma is abuse. Sex abuse by her dad.
Yeah, she's abused by the dad. In the new one, of course, they make it a Skittles person.
Then you have the kid with the controlling fat mom, and he's got like hypochondria, the one with the inhaler.
Well, remember we've talked to him, the actual actor.
Oh,
remember?
yeah. What's his name? Do you remember?
I sent him a book, so he reached out. He's a nice guy.
Right. And then the main kid's trauma, obviously, his brother's death.
We talked to the grown-up one, not the kid.
Right.
But yeah.
And then the fat kid's trauma was being fat, and the bullies, like, remember the greasers poking him in the belly with their switchblades?
Yeah. Cut you up.
Yes. And then I guess the sewers are like the underworld. He comes from the gutters.
Well, the weird part was that I thought, so they went into the sewer, and then they went into a tunnel that goes down to a deeper cavern, and then it goes even deeper into like his lair.
Yeah.
So he's like 3 layers removed from the sewer.
Yeah.
And he's been feeding off of the souls of the kids for a long time.
He feeds on fear, right? And like he comes back to the same town, Derry.
Yeah.
And it has 6 times the murders or whatever. So it's a bad town where bad things happen.
Yeah, it's a hellmouth. And there's human sacrifice to a demon, basically. Mm-hmm. But he really likes kids. Isn't that interesting?
This also has to do with coming of age stuff, menstrual stuff, when the girl is in the bathroom and the whole thing turns to blood.
Oh, yeah.
And she is living with a dad and no mom, so that's kind of a traumatic thing that girls go through at that time.
Well, it's traumatic for men to have their men period.
There's something about virgins seeing Pennywise. Can only the kids see this evil in the town? Because all the parents have been living with this evil for so long, they're just kind of used to it.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's a trope of, you know, all ghost stories, is that the children are pure and they can see it, and the adults are hardened into the facts of life.
Yeah.
And so they're mystically connected to, you know, the other side because they're pure. So, and that's why the sacrifice of the virgin is more powerful, because it's a more powerful energy that's not yet polluted, so to speak.
Do you remember that movie Jennifer's Body?
Yes.
Where she became a succubus?
Yes, good point. Yeah. That's the idea of the succubus, yeah.
Some people are saying that is true and that actually happened because of her being in the media with Machine Gun Kelly and all their posing and their blood and their guns and their... Have you seen all that stuff?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So Megan Fox is in the news.
I don't even know who Machine Gun Kelly is, but...
I don't know.
Is
Some
he
tattooed
a rapper?
punk.
Is he a rapper, or is he
I'm too old for all of... He's a punk. He's a... I don't even know if he has a talent.
A punk, like a pop
He might
punk.
be a singer. He might be
I'm
rapper.
sure we have some
Tell me.
cool kids in the audience.
I'm 4 decades old and I can't keep up.
I just listened to... Who does a greaser listen to? The Beach Boys?
No.
Like, who do I listen to as a greaser? I don't even know.
Like rock and roll.
Rockabilly? Do I listen to Rockabilly?
You listen to Chuck Berry and you wear Chuck shoes.
No.
Converse.
Greasers have to work on cars. They're greasers.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only job for a greaser. Now, greasers will be important in Christine, too.
Right. They're in all of... Sometimes they come back as all greasers all the time. Evil bully greasers.
I'm surprised Misery didn't have greasers. Like, just walking in and, like, saving, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Grease, let's talk about this for a second.
Let's not talk about Grease. Oh.
No, not Grease.
I thought you meant. Let's not talk about any of Gooberface's movies. What's his name? John Travolta.
John Travolta. Yeah. Well, you got John Travolta hair, kind of. No.
I'm just a greasy man.
A lot of you might not know that in our shop we have for sale a skin cream that I make because I do not trust the ingredients in about 99% of the skin cream that you can buy in the store.
Uh-oh.
What?
She gonna do it? Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna
Okay, first I have a trivia question for you.
do? Okay.
What is your largest organ?
Insert your dirty joke
Yes.
here.
Dirty joke.
Heart?
No. Your skin.
Oh, duh.
Your skin's actually an organ, so you need to be feeding it things that you can actually digest. And the chemicals that you put on your body through your lotion is not good for your health. So I made this.
I see the logic of it.
It's so pure. It's so great. It's a great recipe that I got from... I modified it from Tristan's wife's book.
Okay. So not the recipe in Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror.
No.
Okay. Because they're looking for the recipe for the whole movie.
Nope.
That's barbecue sauce. So not that recipe. Okay.
But do you think you could do this with your lotion that you use right now? If you can't do that with something that you rub all over your skin, you probably shouldn't be putting it on there. And we have these for sale in the shop for $20. I don't recommend eating it, but you can, and that's the point of
Jamie's guts literally just became greaser guts.
Yes.
So
you can put it in your hair.
Yeah.
As a greaser. You can use that on anything.
To quote Paul Atreides after the Gom Jabbar, I see the logic of it.
Yes.
No, I see the truth of it. Excuse me. I see the truth of it. Wow, that was great. So yeah, by the way, I linked there. If you're interested, you can go to the shop and you can order there in the shop the Jamie cream. And does it have a specific name?
No.
What do you call it?
I'm still thinking of
Jamie's
a
cream.
product line name. It's just skin cream for now.
Jamie's skin cream.
But I want to expand and start making other things because I don't like to buy any of the deodorant, toothpaste, shampoo, any of it.
Right. So
that's why I'm always greasy and disgusting and smelly.
What?
No, I'm just joking. Because I don't like the hygiene products that you can buy at the store.
No, you make your own and they're really good. I use her stuff too.
He has real sensitive skin and it doesn't hurt him at all, so...
I mean, emotionally sensitive skin. My skin will weep at the sight of kittens, weep at the sight of slow boys. My skin is very emotionally sensitive.
Someone says boomer lube.
No. Boomers do not make their own skin creams.
Boomer lube.
Boomers literally love the corporate products, dude. You cannot divorce a boomer from a corporate product that they've been buying for 50 years. So you got that backwards, bro.
Well, do you want to talk about ultimate greasers, muscle cars?
No, let's do Christine because we've never done Christine, right. And it's a really fun movie.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean we love John Carpenter. It's one of the few John Carpenter movies that we haven't gotten to yet. So, and by the way, guys, if you want to leave us a super chat, happy Spooktober. We don't celebrate Halloween. We got our own holiday over here. We got Kwanzaa and we got Spooktober.
We got 2/36. That's good now.
And we got my birthday, which is a national holiday. And we got what else? What other holidays do we have?
Bones Day.
And we got... That's all we got right now. But we come up with some new ones. We'll make up some new ones. Yes, Tommy Knockers is in the worst. It was funny because it was so bad. But...
Yeah. It was really funny. What did we... Tweaker Knockers? Tommy Tweakers?
They turn you into... You look like a tweaker. You really do.
They lose their teeth and start... Like
Jimmy Smith's wife starts turning into like a meth tweaker.
Yeah.
As the Tommy Knocker sucked your life away.
Yep.
So
All right, let's talk about Christine. That's a good one. Oh, Cujo. Remember that? That's in
That's not
middle.
that good. It's in the middle.
row.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, let's get into Christine, because there's some philosophical criticisms going on in Christine around consumerism. So that'll be interesting to look at, which the first time I watched Christine, I thought this was going to be a B movie. I didn't realize it was actually okay.
It's John Carpenter.
Yeah, but some John Carpenter movies are B movies. They're not that great. But the more that I watch Christine, I like it better. Now, it is goofy, but it's not a bad movie. It's actually all right.
So this is about cars, Americanism, and consumerism.
Yes, exactly.
And it takes place in Detroit, Motown.
I mean, car culture is quintessentially Americana.
And greasers always have to have a black car with flames going down the side, right? That's your standard issue greaser car.
Well, that grease is flammable. That's why.
So this car, Christine, was evil off the assembly line. So it was just born evil. There was nothing you could do.
No, there's a statement about how somebody died or got killed in the car. I thought that's what made it.
No, it opened up scene
Oh, I see. That's
of
right.
it being
because,
made, and then the guy lost his hand or something.
Yes, because it's basically saying, and this is actually the idea in Maximum Overdrive too, which is, by the way, Maximum Overdrive is so bad it's actually funny. It's really it's worth watching. It's so bad because it's like Mac and Me. It's in the domain of Mac and Me, but I guarantee if you watch Maximum Overdrive, if you're wanting to have a lot of fun with a terrible movie that is, I mean, it doesn't require riff tracks commentary. It's so much fun, just like Mac and Me. Just like The Room, right? You can watch The Room with riff tracks or just on its own. And Maximum Overdrive has this point that is that the more that we invest in the machines, the more the machines dominate us, which is a valid point. I actually think that's a good point. And so here it's like that consumerism can become its own entity that eats us as humans. And that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. This made me think of that North Korean documentary. If you haven't seen that, it's wild. It's a documentary produced by North Korea about American consumerism and mind control and population control and everything that they do over there. But they can clearly see it, how our media controls and drives our capitalism, consumerism, because they're coming at it from a communistic standpoint. It's really bizarre.
So it's two different systems of control.
Yes.
Exactly. There's a similar documentary that Alan Watt used to always talk about that compared the Soviet brainwashing to American corporate brainwashing, and like the commercials like that the Soviet government would run are like perfect parallels to the way Coke would advertise Coke. It's just that the government is the one corporation.
Right.
So I wish I could remember that. If you guys in the chat know, what is the documentary that Alan Watt used to always talk about comparing the Soviet Union to Western corporate control? Help me if you can remember that. He would always refer to it, like literally every 5 shows. But
so it just popped in my head that this kid, the protagonist, he was a mega dork virgin, like the horny teen character named Arnie. And he had to get the car.
Harney?
Yeah. Yes. He had to get the car to get the confidence to get a girl. And
right.
So that's the link that sells the products.
Well, also the products are sold, as if the products will get you the sex.
Yes.
So they always link in a Freudian way consumerism and products to sexuality and base desires. And this goes back to Bernays. This goes back to Freud. And Bernays would use these kinds of techniques. I mean, he's very open in the book. We've covered, Bernays at length in the Global Elites lecture series. And so this comes into play in this story where there's this intimate connection between, if I get the car, then I have the status symbol that will get me the sex, that will get me fulfill the desire that I have for biological reproduction, to have offspring, right? But the weird part is that the society is structured such that consumerism is tied to the sex drive. And so there's this never-ending consumerism.
Yeah. And you've got your good girls and your bad girls. Kelly Preston was in this movie for a couple scenes. Just
Yes.
a tiny role, but she was the
Bad girl.
SLUT girl.
Yeah.
And then he gets this car from a weird old man. There's always a weird old coot in Stephen King verse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And his parents are overbearing.
Always.
And all the adults in this are really mean, and they don't understand, and they're all demanding, and right? And
it's the same theme in it as well, that the adults are oblivious to what's actually going on. Mm-hmm. So you have that, the kids always mystically, magically know the real story. Mm-hmm.
So he wants to date this girl, the new girl that everyone wants to date. And he needs the car to get the confidence to get her. And then the guy tells him that the car killed its last owner by carbon monoxide, and he still wants it. So he's transfixed on this thing, even though it's a piece of crap. And it's all junky.
Yeah.
He sees something in it, or the car like puts a spell on him or some kind of junk.
Right. Well, what's interesting is that on one level, there's a decent critique of consumerism here with this obsession over this big hunk of metal, as if that's going to signify that you're intelligent or cool, or, none of that is actually logically consistent. So there's a valid critique of consumerism. But then at another level, you could say this is preparing people for today's generation doesn't care about these things. And that's a valid criticism as well. But the reason that like Zoomers and Millennials don't care about cars like Boomers do, with obsession with their hot rods and their freaking whatever cars, is not because it's merely a legitimate criticism of the obsession with these, products and with these, material objects. It's rather to transition them into tiny living and the dystopia. So there's multiple things going on with the generations being given programming, and certain generations being told, like the Boomers and above, consume, right? Never-ending growth, never-ending explosion, baby boom, buy, expand. The economy can never stop expanding. Then, you all went into debt. You consumed too much. Time for austerity. There's too much expansion. Capitalism destroying the planet. We got austerity, right?
This is why we can't have nice things.
They flip it. They flip the script. So at that time, the programming was go crazy into debt and consumerism, and you can never stop expanding. Now they flip the script, the elite. So literally, this is all intentional social engineering. They're like, no, you can't own anything private. You'll have nothing. You don't need anything. We'll just make you sedated, on stupid drugs, and then you'll be happy living in a pod, eating the bugs, right? So they have flipped the script. And if you go watch Christine, it's just amazing to see the level at which at one point it's a valid criticism of consumerism, but then it's actually just preparing people for not something better than consumerism, but going into the worst phase beyond that, the dystopia. Mm-hmm. The austerity, coon pod, tiny living, don't own anything, circular economy of the megacities.
The car fixes itself. Do you remember that? And the car gets younger, and then Arnie no longer needs glasses because...
Well, the idea is that there's this magical quality to the material objects, to the products. Mm-hmm. It's like a magic thing, right? So you get the product, and not only does it get you the chick you wanted, I mean, you're literally the products are going to solve all of our wants, needs, and desires.
Mm-hmm. It communicates through the radio, so you've got the boomer tunes and the brainwashing.
Is it doo-wop and shit? Like what? Yeah, right.
The Beach Boys.
What does a greaser listen to? Rockabilly? I don't even know. Can you guys tell me? As a greaser, do I listen to the Beach Boys and rockabilly? Elvis? Is that what I listen to?
Yeah.
Probably Elvis.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Bob Dylan, or is that more?
Could you imagine like thinking you're in a gang but you listen to Elvis? Return to sender.
There's
No such number.
a beer commercial talking about the object makes you sexy. So it's a
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. All the beer commercials
yeah.
are that, yeah.
Capitalism equals social Darwinism.
Yes.
But the girlfriend does not like being replaced by this car. And she does not want to have anything to do with it. She doesn't want to make out in it. She doesn't want to ride in it.
Well, people start realizing that the obsession with the fetishism of the object is becoming a religion and a power of its own, and they're starting to realize it's toxic. Mm-hmm. So I listen to Eddie Cochran, Elvis, the Rolling Stones, Johnny Cash, Supremes.
Stray Cat Strut?
Well, I mean, that's 80s. So, the Stray Cats.
What's the before?
They're the revival of rockabilly in the 80s.
What was Bob Dylan?
Folk.
Folk? There's another word. Anyways, the car was supposed to be a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
But
it becomes the end.
Yes.
Exactly. Good point.
And he ends up liking the car more than anybody that he knows.
Well, it becomes the fetishism of the object becomes an idol. It becomes the new god.
Right.
It takes on a life of its own. And believe it or not, that's actually the point of Maximum Overdrive too. Maximum Overdrive is so bad, it's actually just like watching Mystery Science Theater.
Well, how about when the greasers beat up the car and poop in it? You remember that?
Yes. That was me. I was the one that did the pooping in the car.
I could see that.
So.
The car fixes itself to sexy sax music and is seductive.
So, they say, I gotta listen to... Yeah, that makes sense. American Graffiti soundtrack would be Greasers. Yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead.
Let's see.
Jeff Goldblum says I look like Johnny Depp from Crybaby. Was he a greaser or was he like a doo-woppy kind of person?
He had that hair though.
I know.
Rolling Stones' Beast of Burden plays at one time from the radio in this movie.
That makes sense. Yeah, they were saying, we greasers, we listen to the Stones.
Arnie's always wearing the red to be like the car. Oh, Stephen King, he must have had an issue with alcoholism or in his family.
Yeah,
because
every Stephen King movie has the freaking AA meeting. Mm-hmm. There's the AA meeting and there's the alcoholic character who's struggling with this.
Yeah.
Alcoholism.
So in the end, the car threw him out. Car got cubed, but it moved.
So even when you trash the objects of the fetishism of consumerism, they come back.
It says here he died. I don't remember. Who
died?
The main character, did he die?
No, the car died. Christine died.
The car threw him out and he died, I said.
Or maybe it did kill. It killed somebody. I can't remember if it was the main guy or somebody else. Maybe it did kill the main guy.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched Christine. So.
Anyway, what do you think?
Christine is fun. It's a critique of consumerism, but it's not philosophically self-obsessed and being overly deep. So it's a better version of this critique of consumerism than Maximum Overdrive. But I would actually rather watch Maximum Overdrive because it's so preposterous.
Yeah.
But Christine is a decent film. Arnie dies, yeah. So the car kills Arnie.
Yeah.
You're right.
So you want to do Tommyknockers or Sometimes They Come Back?
Let's do Tommyknockers because we're gonna save the good ones and one more bad one, or the bad ones, for the part 2.
Okay. Sometimes They Come Back Again was a doozy of a movie. It was surreal almost.
Maybe it's like a meta version of the fact that they made a part 2 is itself the horror. That they would make a part 2 is what should scare you. Yeah. Because the first one is a bad kind of Stephen King TV movie, which almost all the Stephen King TV movies are pretty bad.
Someone said Gerald's Game was gross. Yeah, that was a scary movie. I put that in the good scary column because it had a lot of
I have not seen this movie. Jamie's seen it, so I don't know.
Childhood traumas again.
Okay, don't spoil it.
Okay.
I haven't seen this.
Classic Stephen King.
What if I thought I misread that? I thought it said Geraldo's Game,
Oh.
which that does sound kind of gross, actually.
Someone says Stephen King is possessed. I would believe that. He looks possessed.
Well, he did. I remember him talking about doing lots of acid and coming up with ideas for horror stories from acid trips. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Tommy knockers, knocking at my door. Indian
This
burial
one is
grounds.
fun. This
There's
was worth
always
watching.
I bet you Christine was born on an Indian burial ground because that is in all of his movies. Not all of
The
them,
car?
but no, the
Christine is a car.
haunted Indian burial ground.
You said,
That's in Pet Sematary.
You said Christine.
I was making a joke, man.
Oh.
I said Christine probably came from the
How would the car come from the Indian burial ground?
exactly.
Okay. Maybe it just drove past it and got like haunted by proximity or
Yes.
something. Okay.
The rubber from the tires tree grew in an ancient Indian graveyard, and that's why it was evil. That's where all the evil comes from, according to Stephen
Isn't
King.
rubber a petrol product? Where's rubber come from? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Does it come from a tree? What are you talking
There's
about?
a rubber tree.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know where rubber comes from. I don't know. But Tommy Knockers I know is fun because this is one of the bad Stephen King's that's fun. And I always love my pod people style stories, and this is a pod person style story.
Definitely. You got Jimmy Smits, the poet.
He's on that
Traveling
poetry circuit.
poet.
Be sure to read we got funny comments in our notes.
Okay.
Don't mess over all
Yes.
these jokes and comments. Did you know that
90s
so,
mom core. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to break into the poetry circuit because this looks like the ultimate grift gig. Because you just write a few lines and then get up there and do your slam poetry or whatever, and then you're on the circuit, right? I mean, it's just making me laugh because he's like, I'm gonna hit the poetry circuit. I'm like, what poetry circuit? I've never even heard of a poetry circuit. And who makes a living? He's got this giant farm with like a house out back, main house.
That's his girlfriend's farm. That's the red hair lady's farm.
Oh, so he's just mooching.
Yeah, he's like a starving poet trying to.
I thought that was his house. I was like, dude,
No.
you're not going on a poet. Does a poet even make $1? I don't even know.
No. So you've got the 90s momcore redhead lady.
Yes, so she's the main character who kind of
And
she stumbles upon the glowing green goo out in the woods.
They find this thing in the woods and they start uncovering it, and it makes you feel good.
Well, not only
euphoria.
that, this also has the consumerism machine critique of Christine and Maximum Overdrive, because the technology that everybody starts inventing, do you notice? Remember, everybody starts making these machines that make life easier, and they invent these. I mean, it's brilliant machines they invent, but it's because they're getting the inspiration from the aliens that are kind of sapping their energy.
Right.
And so they invent these weird machines that are powered by this green alien. I don't know what it is. Energy. It looks like John Carpenter's green evil goo.
This movie has Tracy Lords in it, the PORN star, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that either until you told me that. I was like, oh yeah, that's that 90s chick that had a techno album, right? Did you remember?
Yeah.
In the 90s, Tracy Lords had a techno album. And by the way, it's Marge, what's her name? The main woman's name is Marge Helgenberger. Yeah, that's her. And she's Jimmy Smits's boyfriend, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, her and her blind dog stumble upon the green glowing goo, and she starts turning into a genius tweaker, and the dog has his eyesight healed.
Yes, it heals you at first
Yeah.
and gives you superpowers. So
Yeah.
Tracy Lords and the mailman are knocking boots.
Tommy knocking boots.
Yes, so that's part of what the Tommy knockers do to you is increase your sex drive, and everybody is out there humping in the town, and their teeth are falling out because they live on top of a giant spaceship, and the aliens are sucking them.
But they don't go to sleep. They're always doing they go to sleep, but like it's the more that you are in the vicinity of it and like go along with it, the more that it saps your life force and you turn into a tweaker.
Yes.
But you're genius tweakers who invent things.
They have alien technologies that they're inventing.
Exactly. That's the machines. They're all building these machines,
Yes.
which is really weird. Like, what is Stephen King tripping on when was he tweaking when he came up with this?
They've also got mind reading powers.
Yeah, you start to develop the ability to hear people's thoughts. Yeah.
The policewoman. Oh, the TV killed her husband because he was cheating. You remember that?
Yeah, so she started figuring out supernaturally through clairvoyance what was going on, and then she devised a ingenious way to kill her husband where it wasn't her doing it.
Yeah.
So she made the TV electrocute him, and it's all really ridiculous. But the demon aliens are actually speaking through the technology and through the TV and stuff. That element was interesting because people start receiving the signals, and the signals are like being emitted from the green energy cubes or whatever they are. And it's like messing with people's brain frequencies and turning them into mind control zombies.
So here's the little list of classic Stephen King tropes. You got your alcoholics, your greasers,
AA.
People in A, Maine, and
Always stuff
and
going down
dairy.
in Maine, dude.
Yeah. What's that? Castle Rock, dolls, little kids, and Indian burial grounds. Can you guys think of some more?
I mean, what clowns? Did you say clowns?
Yeah.
There's clowns in this. Remember?
Was there?
In the town parade.
Oh, and the little kid was a magician, and he made his brother disappear.
And there's a balloon that gets let loose,
right.
like in it. Yeah.
And his brother went into the upside down world, like Stranger Things.
Right. So the green energy cube thing also can teleport people. So it doesn't just sap your energy and give you creative juices and give you special tech powers and clairvoyance. It also can teleport you, to the alien ship.
Which is underground.
Yeah. So buried deep underground, just like in It, buried deep underground, right, is this demonic alien ship that can harvest human energy.
So once the whole town is possessed, Jimmy Smits can't get possessed because he had a steel plate in his head that messes with it.
He's a special metal plated slow boy poet man.
Dude, one of these movies had a...
But he's blocking the signal. The signals don't come in because he's got a metal plate in his head.
Lawnmower Man. That's on...
Dude, Stephen King is telling us to wear a tinfoil hat. Jimmy Smits has an internal tinfoil hat.
Yes.
Because he's blocking
He
the
has a
alien
Faraday
signal.
cage on the
He
inside
has
of his...
a Faraday skull.
And he cannot be possessed.
And by the way, the slow boy. Yes, there is a slow lawnmower boy.
In the other movie we watched, sometimes they come back.
Lawnmower Man. That's in part 2.
So,
right.
not only one slow boy lawnmower man, but 2 slow boy lawnmower mans appear in the Stephen King universe.
So I'm guessing Stephen King just grew up in the 50s and developed a drinking problem because of the greasers that made fun of him and bullied him. And as a result, he only was able to befriend the slow boy who lived in the neighborhood and mowed his lawn. That's my guess. It was
Lawnmower Man on the back.
That's the whole meaning of everything that's in Stephen King is just this. And then one time he was scared of a clown.
Right.
So there's everything in Stephen King right there.
Oh, The Stand. Did you like that one?
I mean, we kind of did a little bit on it in one of our shows. I don't remember which one. The book is good. I do enjoy the book, The Stand. The TV show is funny you got Parker Lewis, Molly Ringwald, Gary Sinise. I mean, it's goofy and fun, but I have not watched the new The Stand, so I don't know if it's any good, but I'm betting that's pretty... I don't know. You guys can tell me if the new Stand is any good. I don't know.
This movie featured a place called Cooter's Market.
Yes, and we got a big kick out of this because it's Cooders.
Cooters
Cooters with a D.
Yes.
So now I continue. I call Jamie Cooter Brown, and she gets mad. I'm like, no, it's Cooter with a D, so it's not anything dirty.
So Jimmy Smits is hooked on alcohol.
That would be alcoholism, yes.
And the whole
That's
town
being
is hooked
alcohol.
on the green light, like he is.
Oh, that's right. There's a good parallel between addictions.
Yes.
Good job. Yes, you're right. Because he's the only one that can see that everybody's becoming addicted to it.
Yeah.
Because he knows what it's like to be addicted.
Right.
Good point.
And the dolls come alive in this one, which I hate that.
That's another stupid Stephen King thing. Do you remember the one X-File that Stephen King wrote?
Chinga.
Yes. Which is where Scully
Play with
goes on
me.
vacation in Maine.
New England.
New England.
Yeah.
And a possessed doll is driving Scully crazy.
Yep.
So Stephen King, I think he does like to recycle like the tropes, right? I mean,
he throws the different
clowns,
things and shakes it up, and
dolls.
he's like, okay, this is
yeah,
really
it's
nice.
like a meme generating thing.
Yeah. Abused kids and some Indian burial grounds and what else?
A clown, a doll, and an alien.
A mutilated
an
pet.
alien. Yes, by the way, I have seen Dreamcatcher many times. That's the same stuff, right? The alien demons are using trauma to mind control the different characters in Dreamcatcher. So yes, you're correct.
So this whole town got the hive mind, and they were like, one voice, join us.
Right, so they become pod people.
Yes, the ghouly alien gets decapitated.
Yeah, Jimmy Smits somehow finds a giant medieval battle axe to decapitate the alien in an alien ship with, whatever.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
And he gets into the controls, so now Jimmy Smits, the only one that can save all of them, goes down, down, down into the alien ship underground.
Doesn't he sacrifice himself?
Yes, and
Yeah.
he gets into the thing, and he puts the head thing on, and he goes up into space, and he explodes the whole thing with his mind.
Poetic justice, get it?
It was poetic.
Get it?
Yeah. So
'Cause
you've
he's
got
the poet.
poet saves the world from aliens.
Well, if you notice, multiple Stephen King stories have this character too of the struggling writer. So
Yes.
we didn't cover Desperation, but we had a good time watching Desperation, and in that one you have who Tom Skerritt plays the Stephen King character, who's the successful boomer author who rides off on his Harley into the desert and happens to accidentally run into the worst town ever, Desperation, where demons are possessing the local people. So there's the struggling writer who has been successful and is now washed up, and
What was
this
that
is a
one called?
recurring thing. Desperation.
Would you say that was a bad?
I mean, it's fun bad, so where do you put that? I mean, it's like Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
TV movie, but fun TV movie.
Writers love to write about writing. They love to make a character the writer. They always do that.
But look, if you really want that greaser energy, and you know what I'm talking about that straight up Tomcat greaser level energy that you see right here housed in that section of my arm. That energy can be found only in one company's pill, and that is Chalk.com. Chalk is, of course, the official Jay's Analysis sponsor, and they have upped the game, right? The promo code is now J60. I know it says 40, but you can do J60 right now and literally get 60% off anything in the store, but you have to use the promo code J60. Don't do the 40. I'm going to fix that in a minute, but literally you can get the She Legit for mental acuity, and this is guy or girl, right? You could do the She Legit, which is 100% again sourced and with totally organic ingredients. It's super purified. They don't allow any toxins, anything that would contaminate the product. They're very strict about that. But that would be really good if you're looking for like mental acuity. If you're looking for straight up energy and testosterone boost, you want the Tomcat 100. That's my favorite currently. And then, mineral depletion, this kind of stuff, which our food, the soils, they're deficient in nutrients and minerals. Then you want something like 7 Wonders or the Irish Moss, which is also good. Again, guys and girls can do with the Irish Moss or the 7 Wonders. There's also a good supplement to your daily vitamin regimen if you take vitamins, which would be the Chalk Daily. So again, my favorites right now is still the Tomcat and the Daily, but I'm also going to check out, as I said, I've been taking the She Legit, which is good. I do notice more mental acuity. I think you guys can tell I'm live streaming multiple hours consistently, constantly. And as a greaser, I can only do that through chalk.com. And remember that they are a based red pill company. They're good dudes. They are Austin based, 100% behind the things that we support here, guys. Follow them on Telegram, and you'll notice they post based content consistently. They're 100% geared towards being anti-big soy. And the other point that we want to make is that this is a limited time deal. This stuff could go away. The supply shock, chain shock, that could be a real problem in the near future, where a lot of these products and a lot of the high quality, high tier stuff that we're used to getting might not be available in the next 2-3 months. So right now, that's why it's 60% off. They want to move the inventory that they have right now and get it out the door, and that's good for me and good for you guys and good for them. And again, they also got booted from IG for being based, so they're a good company. They're not going to be lying if they're telling you truth enough to get booted from Instagram. So go up that mojo by supporting Jay's analysis via getting your the best supplementation that you can get through chalk.com. The link is in the show description, but remember, don't use the J40. I'm going to fix that right now. Do the J60, because the new promo that he just told me yesterday or today is 60% off. And so J60 will get you that right now. So we also have multiple super chats from our beloved, loving, super chatty audience. They're just a bunch of super chatty Cathys out there, and we love you for that. So if you want to throw in a couple more super chats there at the end, you can do that there. Have we got more, or are we going to pause here? What's our...
We can do Sometimes We Come Back and Dr. Sleep and 1408 and Gerald's game later.
We're going to save some of the juicy, cool stuff for the part 2. This is a half and half because we haven't done half and half for subscribers in a while. And it is a big party night in the sense of it being Spooktober, not Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween.
Right. I did want to tell you about, since we were talking about writers writing about writers, I watched a American Horror Story this season.
Okay, I've not seen that. I don't care for that show.
Spoilers, it's really... I don't recommend anybody watch that show, but it always has something pertinent to what happened that year.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And especially the apocalypse one, and how it was Silicon Valley nerds that brought about the apocalypse.
Right.
Anyways, so this one was about a writer who moved to this Provincetown, Massachusetts, some like witchy town, also kind of a Skittles place that was featured in the show. And he gets in with these people who are like award-winning artists, and they give him these pills that are made by a government chemist who is testing...
Were they chalk.com? I'm just
No.
joking. Ha ha, that's a joke.
Testing how to turn off morality.
Yeah, that's not what chalk does.
Or turn off creativity.
Now, the She Legit will help you have creativity. It doesn't turn it off.
Right. So this is like
But for some people,
they're making the anti-chalk.com. And they're...
Right, but you said for some people, it enhanced creativity.
So here's this government was studying this town, what these pills did to the people, and if you had talent, then it enhanced your ability, and if you didn't, then you turned into a vampire. But you still had to drink blood either way. So the story was about sacrificing and murdering other people to get to the top, and this is the way. And it was almost like the ADREN.
Adreno.
Yeah.
So the Illuminate, Confirm, and Hollywood are a bunch of vampires that make you do this.
Yes, but they are being supplied by the U.S. government as a test. Right. And then the second half was about how they sold us to the aliens. They sold a certain number of Americans to the aliens for technology.
That sounds like X-Files.
Yeah. It was definitely X-Files Z. And they were trying to make a hybrid, and they were stealing people and taking them to Area 51 to make a human-alien hybrid that would live on a Earth, and they were going to eradicate the human race.
Wow.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but
I'm a greaser, so I was just trying to think of a greaser song to sing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to sing that song for real. No. Why? You have such a good voice. Do it.
I think she just says this, but whatever. I don't know. I can't. I don't want to sing that right now. We're joking around. It's not going to turn into a variety show where I start singing
Let
Elvis
me
songs.
go get the guitar and you can sing.
All right, so we got a couple super chats here, and again, in part 2, we're going to do Gerald's game, Shining, It. No, wait, we did It.
Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep, 1408.
Sometimes they come back.
Sometimes they come back, and sometimes they come back again.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, so good and bad in the part 2 as well. So this guy right here.
Okay. Dell 1000, $5. Good evening, Jay and Jamie. I love your movie reviews. Furthermore, I have a request for you. May you please review the movie named Wishmaster? It would be a relishing experience to hear your thoughts about the exoteric and esoteric meaning of the film. Which one was that?
It's Clive Barker. I've seen it. I saw it back in the 90s, and you haven't seen it. I showed you the trailer, and we were laughing at how cheesy it looks. But yeah, that would be part of another, kind of bad horror movie series to do.
Which we have some. Remember that one about the kids who won the contest to go stay at that mansion?
Yeah, we actually have another B horror movies upcoming podcast we're gonna do, which will have, I don't remember what's on it, but we found, so Invitation to Hell is on there, and we'll probably throw a couple more like that on there too. So that's a good suggestion.
I want to watch that dumb one with Tom Hanks about the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, that's another good one.
Yeah. Sheba up only $3. Thanks for the content. Can you put your jack-o'-lantern on camera?
So if you don't know, my goofy picture that is not my picture, Mark Hackard sends me pictures all the time that are funny, and then I just put them up on Twitter. So a lot of people thought, because it went viral, so this goofy picture of all the things, right? I mean, that.
This is your most best tweet ever?
Who would have ever thought that this soy pumpkin got 35,000 likes and almost 4,000 retweets? So my soy pumpkin there is now my top tweet, and everybody's like, I want to see. That's not my pumpkin, dude. These are just goofy internet pictures. I didn't carve that soy pumpkin, although I wish I had. That'd be pretty awesome. But no, it's not actually my picture. But it did go viral, so now I'm known across the internet. Now I'm not really, but as the soy pumpkin man. Remember Jack, Pumpkinhead Jack?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm. And also oddly the same character in Return to Oz.
Yeah.
So imagine a soy, because he's really skinny. Mm-hmm. This guy with that head. That would be even scarier than Jack.
Jack Skellington.
Soy Jack.
Oh yeah.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Soy Jack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other things? Any other super chats you want to give us? We did good tonight with the philosophy stream. So, but looks like that's it for tonight. If you want part 2, subscribe to Jay's Analysis. $4.95 a month, $60 a year. Anything else you want to leave us with?
Take your bully pills and bully some nerds.
She legit bully pills. That's funny.
Yep.
All right.